To do small groups using Google Meets and codes, it's pretty simple. You need to open up a Google Meet and join with your normal code, and then open up several other Meets depending on the number of groups you want. So if I want 3 groups, I'm going to open up 3 more Google Meets with unique codes. I'll go back to my Rapid Identity, Google Meet, and I'm going to start another one. I have not closed out my original Meet. I'm going to call this one the same exact code, but I'm going to add the letter A at the beginning, or at the end. So it looks a little crazy, but I have several Google Meets open right now. I have my Barron 1 KHSC, Group C. I can see that right down here in the bottom, Barron 1 KHSB. I've got my KHSA, right? And then I have my original Google Meet where I might have met all of my students. What I'm going to do if I want students to go into a group is in my chat, I'm going to enter the codes and I'm going to tell them which one to go to, right? And I'm going to enter the codes in there. And then once I do that, I'm going to tell them to close out of this one and go into their small group. Now keep in mind, students can only enter those small groups if I've already opened them in another tab. Now that's going to get really crazy because you're going to have students talking out loud in all of these other small group tabs. So what you need to make sure to download first is this extension called Mute Tab. Mute Tab allows you to go into those various tabs and simply tap a mute button. For instance, here's Miss Kosh. As you can see, Miss Kosh is talking in this group meet, that we're in. And because she's talking, I'm just going to go ahead and mute her. So I've muted her and we can no longer hear Miss Kosh. Therefore, I won't have 50,000 voices talking in my heads. And you can do that to all your tabs. You simply go through the tabs and tap the Mute Tab extension on them. And that mutes all of them. And that allows you, as the teacher, to go between the tabs and figure out which group you want to pay attention to. You're still supervising all groups. You're just not listening to all the groups at the same time. Again, to keep track of your groups, look in your lower left-hand corner for what you named the groups, and that will help you manage your groups a little bit better. It's really pretty simple, and it's a great way for you to do group instruction and allow the kids to collaborate in small groups without being in the classroom. Just a reminder, make sure that before you leave your groups, that if you don't want students to stay in that Google Meet and continue to work, that you kick them out. And so to do that, you kind of go to the comments and the people, and you should have a little X by people that are students in your Google Meet that you should be able to kick them out. If you just tap on people, you should be able to drop down that menu and then just minus them to get them out of the Google Meet. And that's pretty much it. The good thing is, if you're using a code, you don't have to create a new code for every time you do group instruction. It can always be Barron 1 KHSA, Barron 1 KHSB, or you can just make your groups Barron KHSA. You just want your codes to be unique enough that nobody else in the building is going to use them and nobody else in the district is going to use them. Otherwise, you can just keep reusing them over and over again. Very cool.